Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers. It's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Hey, we are.
Kaz, how are you, my friend?
Good. This is Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, my good friend.
I am Kaz's co-host today, John Steiner. How is everybody today?
And we got a call from DJ, he's back home resting right now today.
Is he?
Yeah, he decided, with the holiday and everything that.
Yeah, he's, Cat TV might be closed today. I was surprised.
He's back with family, but.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I was surprised that City Hall was open today. Isn't today's
Yep,
holiday?
we always are on this day.
Oh, really?
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, how you doing there?
Good.
Hey, Kaz, Friday night, 11 o'clock on one of the local news stations,
Yeah.
had something about, let's see, it says Erie and Erie County has the highest accident rate in the state.
Yeah, I saw that. I was, it was terrifying. They were talking about Grandview and Peachtree, weren't they? One of them.
Yeah, just everywhere in Erie. Our taxes are so high. Why don't the city cops enforce speeding more? You could ask anybody in the...
Yeah, well, part of it is this Commonwealth, there was a bill pending about allowing local police forces to use radar,
Yeah.
which hasn't been, I don't think it's been okayed yet. I'll have to check with, Representative Harkins or Fabrizio, but that's one of the problems, because they used to set up, when we had the time, we used to set up various speed traps with, I think they had laser devices and approved methods, but it really comes down to, I hate to make excuses for them, but right now the least of their worries is speeders. And you hate to say that, but...
They do set up a lot of traps by the school zones.
Yeah, they have done that.
And usually when the motorcycle cops come out, that's when...
a lot of people always say, Erie has a lot of crime, which, I admit and everybody else admits, like at nighttime. I could see, in the daytime if they, set up some speed traps or something like that. Because, I don't know if you've rode around the city. You'll see these cops. They're just sitting in parking lots. I don't know if they're doing their reports or what they're doing. But even in the summer, sometime when they go to those high crime areas, there's 8 to 10 cops just standing around for hours.
Well, they do. I watch them. They do hit. I've seen them on occasion, on more than one occasion, hitting various infractions like red light popping and people whipping around corners. The speeding, I'm going to have to ask the chief if it's easy to do or, how they really, a lot of towns, they're hoping they can use radar like they do in other states where, they can set up by a school zone.
Yeah.
Or by some of these troubled intersections. Because I agree, I'll tell you what, the intersection at 38th and Pine, that's one, and you see people like really ripping down 38th Street like that. Sometimes they think that's a speedway.
Well, same with Peachtree where that...
That's what I said. Everybody just complains how fast everyone's going, but it just seems like the cops don't want to do anything about it. If like I said, our taxes are so high.
Yeah, I really think it's a matter of priorities. But I will bring your complaint up to the chief because I know people have that, especially in the daytime with all these school zones.
Yeah.
You got people. Even yourself, if you watch the first time we get a little warm weather. And you're out on East 38th or East 26th or someplace, Pine Avenue, it's like, wow, all of a sudden,
well, where
somebody let the cuffs off and they're ready to go,
I think he's referring to that accident that happened on Peach. And,
yeah, they pointed out that that's a bad intersection.
It really is because you have, first of all, everybody's going fast, and then you have two ways going up and then two lanes coming down. Crossing that, it's like a video game crossing crossing the road up there. And that was unfortunate. I happened to be coming down from the mall area and saw all the traffic. I was like, oh, boy, this isn't good. So, yeah.
But the Bayfront Highway is getting a little wild, too.
And, if they widen it, too, that'll turn into a drag strip, too.
Yeah, just, like I said, on 38th Street and Peach Street, just all over. Everyone's driving just like it's...
I followed some young college kids the other day, and I'm not blaming them only because it's even older people, but especially these young college kids, they come, they think like that's their personal playground up there. They're whipping around, no turn signals, and I'm going, wow, all it takes is a little warm weather, and everybody just like loses their inhibitions. So it's like open season out there.
Yeah, and we're not used to the sunshine in February. I mean, it's awkward. We don't.
And I think part of it is too, we don't have like other towns. We don't have like a freeway going through the city to relieve that anxiety and pressure.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's just like everybody in Erie. They know that the cops aren't going to, do anything for speeding, so that's why everyone's just driving, like they're crazy.
Well, I was up on I-90. It's supposed to be 55 up there, right?
Yeah.
Go drive 55 and see what happens to you. They're riding up your back end real quick.
And plus, there's a lot of construction going on up there, too, but nobody, It's hard to go from 65, I think it's 70 in Ohio, too, isn't it now?
Yeah.
It's hard to go from 70 to 55. You seem like you're like crawling.
Well, even in Ohio, though, when you get outside of Cleveland, it goes down to 55.
Oh, does it?
That's the thing with big cities now.
Yeah.
They tend to be, wherever there's a large metropolitan area, they lower you to 55.
Yeah.
Even in the famous Germany, where you read about the Autobahn, what they call open-ended speed, not when you get around Berlin or bigger towns.
You, at your city council meeting, do you ever talk in your meetings about, how the taxes are so high, and if the city would, enforce these speeding regulations, like...
All the time. We're always asking about why we have a lot of fees for building permits, speeding, and it's actually been the revenue's been going down in those areas, believe it or not. And some of the traffic citations, we've noticed that it's gone down.
Yeah.
Well, I've got enough parking tickets the last couple months.
Yeah, but those have gone down because people are, they get a little smarter when we raise them. But no, we have talked about it, sir. It's one of those things that, we don't want to, we don't look forward to, you can't look at citations and make revenue, but it sure seems like it's not a priority anymore.
Well, as far as the parking authority goes, they're on top of it. I mean, last week we did the show? And we were outside, we put in, 60 minutes worth, and we got out there like 5-10 minutes later, and we already had a ticket. It's like they were standing there
But they
going,
can't do speed. But they can't
4,
do speed,
3, 2, 1, boop.
Hey, guys, I got one more question.
Go ahead.
You think it's the reason why people in Erie drive so fast? They're drinking too much chlorine in the water?
I never heard that one, but who knows,
Maybe that's why.
Definitely fluoride for sure, right?
And what kills me is I'm watching today how many people got cell phones stuck in their ear.
Yeah.
And they just lose they'll have no idea where they are.
No.
Yeah.
And texting too. I mean, that's even worse.
Even crossing the street down in State Street,
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, watch out, right?
Everybody's looking down. They don't look to see if the light changed or anything. And, hey, it's my phone. I'll do whatever I want. I'm in America.
It's like the right turn on red. How many people really stop? You got a lot of rolling stops.
Well, I think the cruisers, they're for more patrolling the areas. But when the motorcycle cops come out, that's when the traffic action starts happening.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Whenever they're on 26th, they're on 38th, they're on 12th.
Although I've seen people pulled over. Like firing through lights or something. So they are out there.
Oh, they're out there. Yeah, it's just
that it's all a matter of. The gentleman's probably right. In the daytime, it's one thing. At night, they're just.
Yeah, I mean, at night it's a little difficult.
Yes, have you heard anything when they're going to pave East 38th Street?
We had a talk with the traffic engineer, and it's still being studied. I'll try to get back to her again. She sent me a couple diagrams on what the interchange at Pine Avenue may look like. They're planning maybe left-hand turns everywhere.
Yeah, it just seems like East 38th Street, the whole road is potholed.
Wow, I looked today. Even Pine Avenue is bad. There's some giant I saw the state out there one day, and I think our guys were out there, even though we're not supposed to be doing it. We plugged a couple of those holes. But I kind of think that project's going to be next year, but I'll check in for you, okay?
This is pothole season too now.
But there's supposed to be a repaving of, right now they're still studying a couple of what they're doing. I saw the surveyors out. I'm guessing the rural repaving will probably be next year sometime. But I will check in for you, okay?
Sounds good, Kaz.
Yeah, because I'm curious too, because, that road's starting to, I looked at some of the craters, and it's like...
Where's this at? Where are you talking?
Everywhere. 38th Street, Pine on the east side.
On the east side? They just did that, I thought. Then they dug it up again, right?
Look at Pine Avenue, some huge craters.
Oh, wow.
Not only craters, but it looks like some of the top layer peeled off. So that, people look at it and they think it's a big hole and they're dodging it.
Yeah, I feel sorry for that Tim Hortons that open. Every time I drive by there's like some type of construction going on right in front of that place.
Well, they had a sewer problem there.
Yeah, and then they had to redig it up again recently, I think.
It was a real mess, kid.
Yeah, I wonder if they knew that before they...
They didn't know how bad it was.
Okay.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Whenever you get a chance, talk to the chief and see if he got any plans in the future for, enforcing the speed.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, if they pass that law, too, if we're going to ever take advantage of it with the radar.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about local police having that. That'd be interesting.
Okay, Kaz.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, getting back, Tim Hortons, that was interesting because they had when they tore down the old gas station that used to be where the Cornerstone was, there was all kinds of, like, a well in there and stuff. And
I'll tell you where else there's a serious water problem, and you guys talked about it before, is McDonald's over there on Elm Street.
And that, I don't want to get into any, because that may be something we have to look at.
Yeah.
But when they redid the new one, our people were out there.
Yeah. It's still leaking. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just redid everything, drainage and everything.
That's what it was brought up the other day by me and a couple other councilmen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
You cut me off.
I didn't cut you off. You're on now. John?
Okay, you're back.
What? Your phone must be...
Your delay's on, huh?
Yeah, your phone must be having trouble. Are you listening to... Don't listen to TV.
Yeah, you can't listen.
Well, I heard that gentleman talking about Grand Unit traffic.
Yeah.
I think you want to look up Mescal Square in Ethiopia, and you want to see some moving. There's no directions, no director or anything.
Well, I think I saw that on...
What's that?
Are you still there or what?
Yeah, we're here.
Don't
I'm going to call back.
Hey,
I can't hear you on the phone.
Don't watch TV.
Yeah, if you call in, you have to mute the television because there's a couple second delay. It gets confusing. But I know what he's talking about.
What's that?
Yeah. It was on the internet and Facebook.
Oh.
Go ahead, he'll tell you.
Is that better?
That I can hear you now.
There you go.
Okay.
But no, the Mescal Square in Ethiopia.
Yeah, I think I've seen what you're talking about.
In Ethiopia.
It was on the internet, and
Come on YouTube.
yeah, it's crazy.
What happens?
Oh, they're from all different directions. There's no stops, right, John? There's no lights or nothing.
No lights, no directors, right? They just fly from all over.
Oh, and they speed it up a little.
It's a real joke.
First come, first serve?
Yeah, it's pretty much. And then there's people trying to cross the street. It's like it's a nightmare. But
Hey, you were talking about the engineering on 38th Street. They've been only engineering the surveys and all that for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's a big project, but I think they got something in mind, John. We've been told that there's going to be changes in the boulevards and all that.
All they're going to do is synchronize all the traffic signals that coincide with each other.
That's true too, but I think in the case of the I did get an interesting map, a blueprint that they got planned for the 38 and Pine interchange.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about trying to get a left-hand light in there and all that.
Maybe they'll put a roundabout like they're doing out there at Millfair and put in a couple of bridges.
I don't know. There's there was talk about a couple of roundabouts in different parts of the city.
They're ridiculous.
But now I think they ruled I'm not at liberty to say on the one, but I think they ruled one out where they wanted to put it. They don't want it out there yet because they're studying.
You ever been on a roundabout?
Yeah, I hit the one in Waterford, and I got.
I mean, a real roundabout. That one in Waterford, that's a piece of cake.
Well, the first one I got that I hit a lot of them up in New England.
Oh, yes. Up in Connecticut, there,
And
Route 95.
The first one that really threw me, though, was in Jackson, Mississippi. I was coming outside the airport.
5 lanes?
Well, no, whatever it was at the airport, and my GPS went nuts. And I'm sitting there going, and I've never been to Jackson Airport.
Right.
And I got to figure out, how do I get to the highway?
Right. Right.
And I'm looking and I got a rental car to boot.
Right.
So it's not my car, so I'm not comfortable with it. I'm getting used to it.
Right.
And I'm going, what a mess, bud.
I ran into that about, I want to say 20 years ago up in Connecticut.
Well, yeah, well, you know, it's a big joke. I know you live the Big Apple, John.
Oh, yes.
But that GW bridge always throws me.
Oh.
Do you go upper deck or lower deck? And they don't really tell you if you should. You're on your own to figure out which, you take the upper deck or the lower deck.
You ought to try going on that at about 3 o'clock in the morning with 60 or 70 vehicles you're taking that way.
You mean it's why? I mean, I remember we were on it one time. We came to a stop in Brooklyn, I think it was, or the Bronx or something.
Well, see,
we just sat there. It was like,
we didn't have to go to the toll booths and all that because we were going up to restore the country after hurricane went through.
I used to take the Tappan Zee coming back from Connecticut.
Oh, that's a beautiful bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, they are they're putting another one there.
That's the Tappan Zee.
And that is a major undertaking. One of the cranes, I don't know, it was on the news, one of the cranes toppled over, and nobody got killed, amazingly.
You should have been when we fly into New Orleans sometimes to visit my daughter, and they were rebuilding that Lake Pontchartrain Bridge.
Yeah.
I remember I was going over it, and then everything stopped. And I couldn't see over the rise.
Yeah.
And I got to make the airport. It's not looking good. This is when they were rebuilding it, so they had to close it down temporarily. And
is it a Dukes of Hazzard kind of jump thing, or what?
Well, it finally got started again, but they were.
Okay.
Hey, John, I found out why they call the New Jersey Parkway the Parkway.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I was on my way from my daughter when she lived in Connecticut. We were heading to York, PA for a conference, right? Mm-hmm. Well, my GPS told me to take the Parkway.
Well, you kept going round and round?
No, I parked there.
Oh.
You're on a road designed for 70 miles an hour or more.
Sometimes.
And you sit there for like an hour.
Sometimes those GPS, I mean, they're take you the wrong way, it seems
Well,
like.
the guy said no matter what you would have taken, whether it's a Parkway or the New Jersey.
Yeah.
The time I was in New Jersey, I went down to the waterfront and ate at Jimmy's Pour Your Own.
Jimmy's Pour Your Own?
It's a little restaurant along the waterfront.
Have you ever been to Atlantic City, John?
No.
I'll tell you, Atlantic City, right along on the ocean there, it's very nice. But right across the street, it's terrible. I mean, it's like unbelievable how, they got the hotels, the boardwalk, everything.
Night and day?
Oh man.
It's like the 12th Street being bombed out.
Yeah.
Hey, John,
Exactly.
never be in Chicago when the president's visiting either.
Yeah.
I was there when Obama was leaving to go to the O'Hare Airport, and we were heading into town. If you were heading out of town, you could see the interchanges being closed.
Yeah.
So it was like a ghost town on the whole one lane.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole side of the road was like
Detroit.
Right.
I haven't been there in years.
Well, it's like it's bombed out, too. Ever since he went in the office, everything went to the dogs.
They're trying to come back in Detroit, but it's a heck of a project.
I kind of like Detroit.
Trump man will get all the businesses back, and maybe we get this new EPA guy to get rid of all the laws and get the coal and the steel industries going again. Maybe we'll go somewhere.
Well, we need to do something. Erie, Pennsylvania has gotten a lot of publicity.
Well, Erie used to be a great place. It had the fishing, it had all the industries on the water, the grain elevator, the ore docks, the pulpwood docks, the coal docks, and they forced everything out. And what do we have down there? Non-profits.
Well, that's funny you say that, because I was down there yesterday, and I'm looking around, and, the intermodal's down there, and the building out on the edge, with the wavy roof.
That was the old boat terminal.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what are we doing? I mean, you can't put...
There was money there. That's why they did it.
You can't put non-taxable entities on your most taxable properties.
We're going to put the ferry boat there.
And then the mayor wants to get $15 million for down that way. What a waste of money.
What do you mean?
He wants to get money for the cleanup of the GAF site again.
I thought we cleaned that already.
We did clean it.
And we put a 4-foot remedial layer on top of it, and they want more money from the state and the federal government to improve. And then we have another industry down there.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't think that's about, that 15 million is not to remediate it. I think that might be...
That was the first one.
That might be CRIS money or something.
That's when...
Didn't they get $5 million?
That's when GAF paid, they wanted GAF to pay, I forget how much money, to stay there, and they found out it's cheaper to go out of town. And the business went out of town.
Yeah.
I see where the boat harbor down there is got tax exemption all right now.
Which boat harbor is that?
I don't know if it's the one up there.
Commodore Perry.
Commodore Perry or one of them.
Yeah, I think they put a floating bar in or something like that.
Yeah, they appealed.
No, that floating bar is over behind Rum Runners.
Yeah, that's a different one.
That's a taxable place.
I saw it, and I don't know, I saw it today.
I don't think that
Commodore
would be
Perry's
taxable.
doing it.
They want one too?
Yeah.
So, well, I'll get off and listen to you guys.
How you doing, John?
Doing great. I'm going to be breaking loose here pretty soon.
Uh-oh.
You're going to be what?
Breaking loose.
Why? What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm going nuts.
I'm going to come up and see you shortly sometime this week.
I'll be here. Just look for the snow piles.
And I think the snow's gone.
I don't got any snow in my backyard.
No, it's just about all gone.
Yeah, I know.
I got all the grass that my plow driver pushed back on the lawn because I won't let him push it across the street.
Yeah, that's what my guy does. He pushes it straight down my driveway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not everybody does that.
No, I guess not. But if city council had some grip, they would take care of that along with tagging the junk haulers and everything else like they used to.
Like tagging the junk haulers.
Yeah, making them buy a license.
We can't, John. That's illegal under state law.
Why?
They took it away from us. I checked into it, why we couldn't license them, and the Commonwealth took that over, and we are not allowed to duplicate a fee that the Commonwealth charges.
They charge a fee for snowing and cutting grass?
No, not for that. Well, that one is actually there's, on council right now, there's a feeling, the people that are presently on there, that we are looking at, we're going to have a meeting about looking at certain revenues to pass.
Yeah.
And we have looked at a couple different things like easement licenses and.
Well, you should.
But it's like all these places on State Street. Half of them aren't. Right now, we don't even charge to allow them to go out on the sidewalk, and half of them don't even have licenses.
That's right. And these guys cutting grass, they block up 2 lanes of traffic.
Well, I think we should. Actually. It was a Councilman Alexandrovich that got in trouble for even suggesting it.
That was Eric Irwin. She took him right out of office.
Yep, that was I don't think Mark explained his position to him.
Oh, he had a good position there with businesses. And in fact, if you look on your Channel 9 there, it says all sidewalks should be cleaned 3 hours after a snowstorm.
Yeah.
And there's another thing. The city's got to get into it. Larry Meredith was doing it for Philippi there to get rid of the obsolete ordinances that are on the books.
Yeah, well, he even looked at the tax exemption. He had a wide list.
Well, they should be looked at every 5 years.
Oh, I agree with you, but you know what? That's council can argue and coerce, but it's really an administrative function if they want to take it on, you know?
Yeah.
Because you remember, if you're as old, well, you are old as I am. Do you remember the last guy that tackled the sidewalk ordinance?
Yeah.
It was Williamson, wasn't it?
Yes. 1960.
Yeah, you're pretty close. I'm guessing 60. Well, it had to be. Well, before I was in high school, so it was like.
Oh, he was vice principal when I was at East.
It was like 62 or 64, wasn't it?
In that vicinity.
Yeah, because he went after. I remember where I lived. There was no sidewalks or even roads above 32nd Street. They were dirt and no sidewalks. He just leaned everybody's property.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Jim Casey wanted everyone to have a front porch.
Yeah, that might be hard. I mean, it's a nice idea, but, you know.
It's as nice as your inspector for the homes.
But the trouble is, can you force somebody to put a porch on if they can't afford the house then, you know?
No, well, if you wanted to force somebody to put a porch on, well, the city doesn't have the money to take care of what they got. Are they going to be putting a lot of porches on?
Well, we used to have a sidewalk inspector, remember?
Yeah.
And he answered actual complaints, you know.
He went all over except in Southeast Erie, in Southwest Erie.
Yeah, well, there was nothing over there.
Yeah, well, sure, there's sidewalks coming up, there's trees in the way.
I got the sidewalk that goes nowhere on my street.
Well, there's one of those on Lake Pleasant Road in Mill Creek.
When I first moved into it, the kids were using it for a ramp.
Off of Grand View, on the right-hand side, you'll see a sidewalk going right up to a pole, and there's no other sidewalks. The guy got scared by the ordinance and hurried up and put it in.
Hey, here's one for you. Try walking from, you know where I live, right?
Yeah.
Try walking up to Dairy Queen.
They're closed.
No, but try walking up there. You can't.
I know it.
And then if somebody yells at you for walking in the street, there's a simple answer why.
Yeah, there's no sidewalks.
When we had the little kids and we had the strollers and the stuff, could never do it.
Well, it's good to see that gentleman is finally putting his money to use that you just give him that low loan.
Oh, you mean the Dairy Queen guy?
Yeah, he's closed up. He's been remodeling.
Yeah, what happened with him was he had a little trouble. Things weren't working out right, and so we helped him, and he's finally getting started now. It's, you know what, people can say what they want, but it is a positive that something's staying there in Erie, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, it'd be nice if we can now get the plaza going, because the latest I heard was we're getting a trampoline place there or something.
Yeah, the Delicious Sandwich Shop on 38th Street, he closed.
Who's that?
Delish, you know that sandwich shop next to the Red Fox?
Yeah, and he was I knew that guy. He worked for Natalie at Erie County Farms. And towards the end, when she was having trouble,
he had problems getting his produce or his meats and cheeses.
Yeah, is that what put him out of business?
Yeah, I think so.
Because, you know, he was a nice guy. I went up there a few times. I bought...
There's just starting to come along good, and then...
Hey, he made fresh sandwiches. You could buy meat, fresh meat for your sandwiches, or you could buy it to take home.
Yeah, I guess he run into little difficulties with the rent and everything else, too, but...
Yeah, he asked me about some other places, and I told him he could... you know, he was trying to find one, and I said, you know... Feel free. I was going to hook him up with a couple of people at the city.
Well, I think
if there's any programs we could help him out with.
one of the problems up in that plaza is I think
I'll get off.
Okay, John.
Mike Palermo. I think his family owned it, and Mike passed away.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, a few months ago. I mean, I think his parents owned it, and I think he ran it, but he passed away, and so I mean.
If you go to the Kmart, you find out. Look at the roof there; it's leaking and.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, that's one. Well, that and the lease was running out, and I don't think.
Yeah.
If you're a Kmart, do you want like leaky roofs and?
No.
And you know, Kmart's in trouble across the country anyway. But
it's unfortunate that that's a nice plaza up there. I mean, it's.
Well, yeah, when they first built it, it was a Grant City, and then we had Loblaws there, or some, I think it was. I don't know if it was Loblaws then. It probably was, and it went through. You know, it's a nice plaza.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's going to be one less
That hurts it. I mean, the old Southgate restaurant, that's open.
That's open again?
Yeah, I think it's called Skyline.
You know, what hurts is that you got the elderly people living at those apartments there.
Yeah.
They kind of depended on that grocery store.
Yeah. I think there's another grocery store opening up where Erie County Farms.
Yeah, that's going to be an outfit out of Buffalo.
Oh, is it?
They're going to keep the name Erie County Farms, I
really?
think.
Good.
Go ahead, caller.
Did you hear any talk about sheets going on 38th and Pine?
There was a rumor, yes.
Yeah, 'cause somebody I know went to Arby's and they told them they were going to start sheets over there, but I haven't heard nothing else.
Well, I know Mercyhurst owns that property. You know that, right?
Which one?
On 38th and Pine.
Which one do they own?
The big lot that's empty. I mean, is that where he's talking? Is that where you're talking?
No, he's talking about, there's no big lot on Arby's.
Across from Arby's there.
Oh, you're talking about across the street there?
Yeah.
That's owned by Keystone Oil.
Well, someone said a sheets was going in there. That's why I didn't know if you heard anything.
The last I knew, and Bobby Mursky and I were checking on it, because, we were wondering how we get to use that for the farmers market for the one group there. But then a lot of people are complaining about the cars parked there.
Your students parked there.
Yeah, Mercer's rents that.
Yeah.
I think they own that.
Well, we were told last time, because we inquired, the property is still owned by Keystone Oil, which was the old Country Fair McGarvey.
Oh.
Yeah, they own that, and Mercyhurst leases it.
Oh.
And they still had plans up to what they were going to do. They had to close down that road, that little street there, because there's no houses on there with addresses. They would close that, expand that parking lot. That was going to be, at one time, a country fair. They were going to close the one on Grandview. But, yeah, we keep hearing rumors, but as far as I know, that still belongs to Keystone.
Okay.
But you know what? I'll check in again. I just asked about it about a couple months ago.
Yeah, I heard this about a month ago from somebody in...
Yeah, because we did hear that, some of the neighbors were hearing that they were approaching people,
Okay, then.
But I think if I remember right, I heard they're building one on the west side, though.
Yeah, they're trying to get a little competition with Country Fair, I think.
Well, for a while we heard that they had an agreement that neither one would cross each other's territory, which is why you didn't see them in the city. But I think they're building one on the west. I'll check in for you and try to report it. But I heard a rumor they're moving up. I believe it was in the Peach and Liberty Street area up there on the west side.
I heard that too, but I haven't seen nothing going on yet.
No, I heard it. Well, if you heard the same rumor I did. It's going to be somewhere near the Little Caesars up there.
That's what I heard too, but...
Well, Country Fair, there is a Sheets close right across the street from Country Fair.
But not in the city, though.
Not in the city, in Harbor Creek there is.
Yeah, they had some kind of arrangement in the city. That's what we heard, like a gentleman's agreement. But yeah, because for a while I heard, another site we heard one time was, the Vendetti's own that property out there by McClellan? You still there, sir? He must have hung up. But that big parcel out there by the bowling alley?
Yeah.
They were talking, Sheets was looking at that out there. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Because
Yeah.
they had to find out how much the state takes from the tickets that the policemen get.
Oh, you mean for speeding and parking?
How much the city gets on it.
Okay, that's an easy one.
People complain about the police, but they do a good job. They try to anyhow.
Actually, we get
But at nighttime they're so busy, they can't go after all these speeders.
We get more money from...
Okay, thanks.
So hang on a minute, can you? Are you there, sir? Yeah, we get more money from parking fines, but the speeding tickets, the state takes a huge chunk.
Well, the state police usually issues them, don't they?
Well, if a local outfit issues them, we have to charge like all those, those fees you hear about, like, they add those add-on fees.
Like user fee type of thing.
And the state takes their, because our traffic court for parking tickets is different than the traffic court for speeding. That is handled by district justices,
Right.
which are
State
employees.
Right. Yeah, that right.
So I'll find out for that gentleman about, because we were talking to council, we don't get a lot of money from speeding tickets. It's almost like, there's not an advantage to it. Some states there is.
That might be why we don't have police out there checking for speeders, because we don't benefit from it.
No, if you go to West Virginia, there was a rumor some of those towns balanced their whole budget with that.
Yeah. Oh, those small towns, absolutely.
Ohio, too.
Don't get me started on New York. New York is the worst.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think that guy who's going to open the Erie County Farm is going to have luck?
He's going to have luck?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends. He's keeping the name. But like I talked to my wife and my mother, I said, you don't know whether, Natalie ran a pretty good operation. You can blame her for a lot of things, but her prices were pretty conducive for, people that, well, even everybody went there, but it'll be interesting, Lloyd. I don't know what I haven't seen what kind of, I was going to look it up on the internet because they had a name for it. It was called, God, I wish maybe somebody remembers the name of it. They use a name in Buffalo area. I was going to see what their prices look like up there. I have to go into one of the Go Erie stories to find out.
What's the name of the store? Do you know? Is that what you're...
That's what I was trying to think of. Lloyd, what do you think?
I don't even remember the name of it at all.
I mean, what do you think? You think it'll make it?
No.
Why?
You ain't going to have no bakery food in there.
You mean deli foods?
No bakery. Like pies and bread.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
No bread at all?
For right now.
Well, at least Natalie she had Bill's Bakery and a couple other ones there for a while.
She had them with John's Bakery.
She had Bill's too for a while, and then...
Yeah, when you weren't paying your bills.
Well, I will say this, I will never speak bad about Natalie because she did a lot of good for the community. A lot that people really don't know unless you're part of some of the groups I was where she donated a lot of food.
A lot of food, even money to charity.
Absolutely. It's nothing like a little distress that gets you find out who your friends are, but...
She was a tough lady to work for.
She was, but you know what? All I know is that whoever takes over, I think there's a need for a grocery store, Lloyd, because we lost the one up there on Grandview.
Yeah.
And
Value King.
And over the years, there's a couple discount ones coming in.
I'm trying to look it up. I can't find it right.
If I heard it, I'd remember it, but. I don't know what their mix is going to be like. People love going. Natalie had because she had the deli and the veggies and
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, and she had a definite. One thing that may be happening in the future, they're talking about a grocery store down at the bus station, off of French Street.
Yeah, on 14th and Holland in that area.
Right. Plus, they're also looking at a farmer's market type arrangement at the GAF site. So these things may be good, because that's what I put Natalie in. Natalie was almost like a farmer's market, the type of place where,
People, they're crazy up there, too.
Where?
Erie County Farm.
You ever been to a farmer's market in some of these towns?
I've been to Erie County Farms. That's like...
well, in the old days, that was really bad. That's where I learned my pass catching skills. My mother would toss me a chicken, catch it before some lady intercepted it, or
they might
tackled you.
They'll grab stuff right out of your cart.
But he's tackle you. Or somebody throw a chicken back and they grab it, it's like
got good hands.
A.J. Uwe, the conductor, I remember this one time I heard him say that you haven't lived in Erie and you haven't experienced Erie till you went up there one time.
That place is a madhouse. Certain times of the month, too.
You went there, Lloyd, right?
All the time.
They got good stuff.
I'll give you this little disclaimer. I worked for Natalie when I was a young kid. And she was in that tent on 26th Street.
Yeah, 1210 with 26.
Yeah, before she built the brick building there, next to Flo Fabrizio's place. And I remember my buddy and I, She used to get all the kids in the neighborhood to come out there and unload trucks. I never worked so hard in my life.
Yeah.
I actually joke with her that she actually fired me, I think. We couldn't work fast enough. We had guys falling off the truck. We were unloading these watermelons, John. You never know how heavy a watermelon gets till you're about to your 100th one. And it gets old real quick.
Yeah, and then she moved into Old Kimmel Pontiac.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it's just sad that, the business is on.
It's part of Erie that's gone,
Oh,
when I was a kid, I remember places like Arnone's and, we still got, what's the one on the east side? That, not Tropka's, the other place.
Well, Trofka's too, and there's, on German there.
Yeah.
Central Market.
Right.
Central Market.
I miss all those places like, Arnone's and all that. It was part of old Erie that.
Yeah, I like Trofka's too, and then there's like Lloyd said, the Central Market, Urbaniacs.
Urbaniacs, yeah. It's like all those things are gone. But when I was a kid, we still had a couple of we still had one at 10th and French.
No, 12th and French there was one.
12th and French, the Market House, you're right, not 10th.
What's his name has good stuff too up on Liberty, SAS, 8th to 17th. And
Larry's
SAS.
Central Market.
Larry's, that's right, yeah.
I still stop in there. Larry's a classmate of mine.
Is he?
He and I, we try some things he doesn't sell to the public.
Right.
It's pretty spicy.
I bet.
But Larry's an old throwback. I barely remember the big Market House where the Perseus House is now, where the school district was.
Yeah.
And there was a bowling alley in there.
Yeah, before that there was a big Market House, though.
Yeah, you remember on 2nd and German there was a bakery?
The Balkan Bakery.
Yeah.
And on 17th and German, Holland, Baker's Bakery?
Yeah, that was the famous. That was a Jewish bakery they had the best hard rolls in town. You could put ox roast in there and it wouldn't leak through.
I don't know. Balkan Bakery had good hard. Lloyd, do you remember the Levy's Market?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my old store.
Yeah, Balkans was good. And then you had Hess Avenue Bakery. You had all those Sontheimers.
Well, they ended up naming the park on 2nd Street after Nate Levy from Levy's
Nate
Market.
Levy, yeah.
Did he own a bakery?
No, the George family.
My aunt was a George.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, my mother worked at the old Balkan Bakery
Yeah.
But the famous hard rolls came out of Baker's Bakery. They was like, they called it, they had made us Jewish rye bread too. That was.
And then right across the street there was a Jewish grocery store.
Yeah, we had a lot of nice stuff back in the old days. There was a lot of.
And it's sad that, chain stores and chain businesses have pretty much.
Every bakery had Hess Avenue was a little Polish flair. You had the Jewish bakery.
Right.
Balkan was like Greek and
Russian.
Macedonian and Russian.
The Russian. That neighborhood down there was mostly Russian because the Russian church is down there.
Yeah, 2 Italian bakeries, International and Majestics.
And St. Pat. So it was like a Russian, Irish kind of.
Yeah, you get all that weird bread you wouldn't normally see it today.
I miss the olden days where different neighborhoods were, you had your Polish neighborhood.
22nd and Reed, there was a bakery there. Owensky Bakery.
You remember Gem City Dairy, too?
Yes.
Yeah, real ice cream made in Erie, it was.
Nita and Sterling Square in Middlebrook.
Yeah, now everything is like,
Yeah.
There's no local guys doing it a lot anymore.
It's just all chain stores, and then those just put the mom and pops right out of business.
We were talking about the fish market. I met Mr. Mather's son the other day.
Oh, did you?
And we were talking. He was telling me his dad still does a little fishing, but
Really?
he said basically there's a couple young kids doing it, but nobody's doing it because of the net problem.
Yeah.
And
They changed the laws and put a lot of good, hard-working guys out of work.
That was called.
yeah, it's just Lloyd, you're right. I hope that merchant does good over at Perry Plaza because I think there's a need.
Hey, are you running this year?
Yeah, I can't say on the TV though, but yes.
It is that time of year.
Maybe I'll come over and see you. Okay.
Okay. I'll be home.
Thanks, Lloyd.
All right. Bye.
Once again, if you're wondering where DJ is, I have John Steiner here today. John, how you doing?
Doing good. You know, I like when people call in and start talking about some of the old things in Erie.
I get a lot of people after, they won't call here, but they'll see me at the
Yeah, it's good to remember.
breakfast place or something, and we'll talk. Go ahead, caller.
They're going to call that market super price choppers.
Ah, that's it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
You got it. I knew our smart listeners would get it.
Yeah, I knew.
Super price chopper, right?
Use the initials SPC, Erie County Farms.
Yeah, they're going to call it Erie County Farms, right?
Yeah, with the initials SPC.
Oh, so what do you have any idea what they're going to do? Lloyd thinks they're not going to handle bread and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Wow,
He said that they're not going to have any hot foods or they're not going to have any baked goods, but they seem to specialize in fresh meats and they're also going to have fresh produce.
Oh, that's good,
Either fresh or frozen fish also.
I hope they have a nice big deli, though, too,
They
they
didn't
gotta
say
have
that.
I used to love getting the various cheeses over there that Natalie had.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
Super price chopper.
Yeah, that's what it's called in Buffalo.
Yeah, I remember it had a weird name, but
He has 2 stores in Buffalo. The guy's name is Bob Gunther.
ooh, hey. I wish him all the luck in the world because
Hope it works.
we could use some. We need some business in town here.
Yeah, I miss going over there.
I mean, we got basically, like on the east side, we got Tops and Walmart. That's it.
And their prices are higher than what Erie County Farms.
Yeah, a lot of people complained that she was a bad businesswoman, but nobody complained about the prices she charged.
Well, she was a good businesswoman for many years until she stopped paying her bills.
And you know what? I don't know the reason, but I do know she had a heart of gold. Anytime you had a fundraiser, she was there,
Yeah.
It's I'm looking at their website in Buffalo. It says they have a meat department, a hot foods department.
Maybe you know what they might be doing here?
Just
Maybe they're going to try and see what happens.
start with the basics and then move up.
Yeah, because sometimes even in Erie, I hate to say this, but even if you go like to, Tops or, you don't see, they usually they don't have a lot of hot food anymore,
Yeah. Or they have chicken.
Said he's going to try to keep it pretty close to what Erie County Farms it was. And
And you know what? If it looks like it's going good, maybe he'll,
probably will.
maybe he'll push it out a little bit,
I'm just honest. I'm glad somebody's coming in there.
I heard rumors that,
And he says he's going to try to hire a lot of the same employees.
I heard a rumor from people around her that they were being approached by this gentleman, to hang in there and that they, that something was coming, but they didn't know the name of it at the time.
Shopping is always an adventure at Erie County Farms.
It was.
It still is.
The article in the paper said he was trying to open within 30 to 45 days, so that would put it at the middle of March to the end of March.
Yeah, that's...
Walmarts and stuff. I mean, they just suck the life out of a lot of small business owners.
Well, what I'm worried about is now that Kmart's gone.
Yeah.
You got no...
Retail.
I mean, you got no competition.
Yeah, and up there's no anchor store up in that plaza either now.
No.
So I mean, there's no grocery store, there's no retail. I mean, that whole area. I mean, they need something up there bad.
Well, yeah, we lost a hardware store is now a restaurant. So
yeah.
How much longer is Kmart supposed to?
End of March, I heard.
Oh, already.
I heard their lease was up, and then the leaking in the roof didn't help. But long term, some gentleman called me and said, "What is the city going to do to keep Kmart there?" And I said, "There's nothing we can do because if you read the papers like the Wall Street Journal and different business, if you read MSN on your computer, Sears and Kmart were in trouble." And long term, they're shutting stores down.
I mean, it's sad that government, it seems like we have to get involved with businesses just to create.
But what could we do with them? I mean, it's
well, you
part
couldn't
of-
do nothing with that.
It's part of a bigger problem. I mean,
Yeah.
you take Allentown, which is 800,000 people in the area,
Yeah.
you're hard pressed to find a Kmart.
Yeah.
In Erie, we had, 4?
I mean, Harbor Creek seems to be pretty busy.
But, I've been told even that one is slower than it used to be.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, they've done a lot of not rebuilding, but they're starting to get a lot of businesses moving back into the Harbor Creek area. I think Dean Pepicello and those guys out there are doing a pretty good job.
Well, it's the taxes that they,
Yeah, I mean, they're building their tax base. There's different restaurants and different stores moving in out there all the time. Seems like anymore, but we need to get some of that moving into Erie.
Well, I use the argument that you go to the breakfast place and it draws from a large... Are you still there, sir?
Yeah, well, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Hey, and thank you for telling us. I was trying to think of that name.
Yeah, I appreciate the...
We appreciate that. Yeah, it's like breakfast place draws from Harbor Creek, Mill Creek. And I argue all the time when I meet these business people. I talked to Nick Scott a couple of times, and I said, with them, it's like once they get in their head that it's Mill Creek or Harbor Creek, it's hard to break that.
Yeah.
Which is why that piece of property up there that the last I knew was owned by Vendetti's, behind the old DNR, the ice skating rink.
Yeah.
Okay, that big parcel of land out there. They've tried to develop that. There were rumors at one time that Walmart was going there. There was rumors that Costco was coming. Rumors of Sheetz was coming.
Yeah, now it's just an indoor park thing, I think, isn't it?
But I mean the land behind there,
Oh, okay.
that's owned by Vendetti, that it ties into the Bayfront. It's a big parcel. And it's owned by a couple people, but go ahead, caller.
The store that you were thinking on 23rd in German is Urbaniak.
Yeah, John figured it out, but thank you for calling.
But I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
I tried to get you a couple of weeks ago, and I said a good place for recyclable is Lord Manufacturing.
Really?
Yeah. Are they for sale? It has a for sale sign on it.
Lord Manufacturing.
Yeah, that's a good place for it, wouldn't it?
Oh, you mean to put a recycling place? Oh, I get what you're saying.
A recycling center.
Yeah.
Are you talking like similar to what they have in Mill Creek?
Yeah.
I think Lord's is going out, though. The factory is.
I lived on 23rd between Pride and German. And you know who owned it? Two old ladies.
Oh, really?
Ladies owned Urbaniaks, and I met them that one time.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think Lord's is going. Well, Lord's is out. I mean,
Mill Creek
No,
does.
they're out. They're tearing it down.
yes, they are.
They do make money on their.
Recycling?
Absolutely, they do.
Now, they're tearing it down, but that would be, if it's not sold, that would be a good place for the recyclables.
Yeah, it could be, because I tell you, in Bradford, PA, the marching band to high school ran a recycling center,
Uh-huh.
and they made enough money to equip the band and everything, all their...
See,
I lived there. I'm 72 years old. And I
You
lived,
don't sound it.
No, I thought you were like 20.
when I was in grade school, that's when they moved over there.
Right. Well, see, the thing is
Yeah.
for the future, it's
Yep.
sustainable cities.
Yeah.
Our generation, but the future, they're into sustainable cities.
And there used to be a grocery store on 21st and German. He used to do his own meat, cut his own meat up and everything. There used to be one on 23rd in German, right on the corner there. And there used to be a grocery store on 23rd in German and one on 25th in German up in there.
Yeah, a lot of those little stores, the guys cut their own meat there and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in that neighborhood.
We had a guy at 30th and Cascade used to actually, get sides of beef and cut it.
Yeah. Yeah, nice to talk to you.
You too.
Thank you. You used to, like John said, you sound like you're about...
I thought you were in high school.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, that's a good thing.
All right.
Thanks for calling, dear.
Bye.
She sounded pretty young.
I thought she was like 18. I'm like, wow.
I was thinking like,
Yeah, young.
30 or something.
Yeah, young. That's great. But
That's new generation. See, we won't admit we're old.
no. But sustainable cities, Kaz, that's that's the catchphrase for the millennials, and we got to start setting the course up for
That's
Erie
true.
to start looking into some
Go ahead, caller.
sustainability.
Kev, how much exposure have you had to that war room down there by the library?
We're going to actually be going down there shortly.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a county planner, I would, I'm glad she's helping, but she shouldn't be the lead person for the city. I mean, it looks like Chris Mong is kind of letting her take the lead. And I just think the city should be in a leadership position, even though we're in Erie County. I get all that,
But what gets confusing is, you saw the other day Mill Creek's doing a comprehensive plan.
yeah.
The city has one,
Them too.
and they're all required by the state.
Yeah.
So then you got the downtown district, which did their own. The waterfront did their own.
Yeah.
The county had to do their own.
Yeah.
So you got all these plans out there, and the hell of it is, you need somebody to coordinate them
Yeah.
so that because right now, what we think is important may not fit into the county plan, yet within our geographic borders, so it is a mess.
The problem is, there's a city versus county mentality.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And it's like we got to start taking care of ourselves to a point.
well, it came up like, on different issues. It's like, the city has their own set of problems, right?
Yeah.
Like Perry Wood the other day says, we give all money. Where did you give any money to the city?
Yeah.
You gave money to the nonprofits,
Right.
okay? But
Mini grants.
yeah, but you didn't give any money. There's, like other communities actually get physical dollars.
Yeah.
That
I mean, they do some good. I mean,
Yeah.
but as far as the city going, I mean, do you have to vote on you guys are requesting money?
well, we're saying that now to restudying this. I always felt, and believe me, I wasn't on council, so I had nothing. I wasn't part of when they did this gambling thing, and they said you had to be contiguous. They let us out, right?
Yeah.
Well, most communities, they should have passed a law that said, okay, let's be truthful. What drew the casino to Erie? Summit?
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
I don't know how we.
I mean, if you were sitting there as a gambler, right?
Right.
I mean, running a company. Okay, what brought you to Erie?
Yeah.
Mill Creek, Summit?
No.
Or was it the
Right.
overall 260-some thousand people, of which 100,000 are city residents, right? And yet, in the legislation, like other communities in Bethlehem and Allentown, they got together and made a deal. We always assumed the county was going to take care of us.
Yeah.
You know what they say when you assume?
That's right. Well, I can tell you what, I don't think it's going to be around much longer.
What, the casino?
The money,
That, John.
the casino money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that, the rural, I mean, there's serious movement going on as far as these little towns and these outlying regions that aren't getting any of this gaming money.
They want it now?
And they want it.
Well, here's the problem. Summit was, the way I understood the legislation, they were supposed to get money to take care of their problems.
Yeah.
All right? You understood that, Rich?
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah.
Well, that's, roads, infrastructure.
Police, fire.
Et cetera, et cetera.
And
Right.
yet, what do we hear? They got a volunteer fire department.
They got the cool coats.
And they're using state police yet. Now you seen what the state police are saying? Which the League of Cities has been pushing, well, now it's a municipal league. We've been pushing for years, like Mill Creek has to have a department, Wesleyville, Northeast, right?
Right.
All have police departments.
Yeah.
And you sit out there, and there you are, Summit and Harbor Creek, that don't have police department, and you got Summit getting all that money, right?
All they do is suck the life out of a community.
But again,
The casino. I mean, the older people that go up there, they're spending their pensions,
Right.
inheritances for their children, which they would take and invest in homes
only
and
that,
cars and different things like
if
that.
you're staying
it's
there,
all going away, and we get really no property tax relief, do we?
No.
I mean, they do pay for the different assets.
And they don't want you to leave the casino.
those casinos.
So if you're a restaurant or bar in that area, you're not getting any.
I was just about to tell you that. In Niagara Falls, I took a walk outside. It's desolate. Because people, if you, let's say if you had a casino and you didn't allow food sales or alcohol sales, then then you'd have economic development that would take place around there. But it doesn't.
The only reason why Cleveland survives with the casino downtown is because they got the ballpark
and the stadium,
right? And the stadium right there.
Yeah.
But like in Niagara Falls, you're right. There's nothing around there.
Yeah, it's desolate. And I'm telling you, I mean, I'm glad we brought this up. I think the casino money is in real trouble.
Yeah, John, I agree with you. Perry Woods, God bless him, he's got the best job in town. But he's like, and I don't mean he's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You start feeding little bits of money to all these different organizations. They like getting that little handout, and then they become supporters of what he does. So you've got this climate out there of people that receive money from Mr. Woods and his group that don't want to see it go. So you got this outcry about, we shouldn't give $1 million to the city and share that with the school district. I can't think of any two organizations that could use $1 million more than the city and the school district.
Well, it's like what our mayor said, that we have a vested interest in starting to charge taxes on those hotels and everything.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll tell you right now, if our school district collapses, we are the only reason that people move to a region or businesses would relocate to a region. The number one thing they look at is education.
Yeah.
And if we're forced to send our kids out to the suburbs, watch the outcry.
A few years ago, when I retired, I got a book from one of those magazines for older generations.
Yeah.
When you're looking for retirement, a place to retire, the number one thing, and I'll never forget it, was how stable is the school district in the community you're moving into.
Absolutely.
And they wanted you to look at that first, because that was important. They realized how expensive it is, and they realized what a draw it is for other people to move there. And when you don't have that, you're really going to suffer. You're really going to suffer.
I mean, it's a really serious situation that we got going on over there.
Yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us.
I mean, we need to work together.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, and when I said the planner from the county, I really am more of a regional kind of person. We need to, put the oars in the water together and start rowing in the same direction. And the only way you're going to do that is when you get some help. But I just think the leadership, we should have a war room that's run by the county. We should have a war room that's run by the city. I mean, and that might be a simple way of looking at it, but that's just how I see it, And you just have to jump out there and get that leadership role and gain some of that control back that the city used to have,
The city?
But, we've managed to give that away to everybody, and so we are where we are.
The city, the county, and the school district need to start working together.
You're right. I agree with you, John.
Devising plans. I mean, we have plans that are put together. We need to actually start working together, start moving these plans forward.
And
start turning this community around slowly.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got their own fiefdoms.
Yeah.
And, we ride or die together.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if they go down, we go down.
Yeah.
People got to start putting their own personal agendas aside and start working together to get this thing turned around before it's...
You can, because we've got so many great things here. The one thing that just always drives me crazy, we've got that freshwater lake. We can throw a pipe in it and provide water to any industry that needs it. And you listen about other industries that suffer for those kind of resources. And we got the Marcellus Shale. We can heat their furnaces up cheaply. And we've got all these good things. And God Almighty, we like you say, we're giving away the most valuable asset we got, the waterfront, to hotels that don't pay any taxes and stuff. We just need to have a different focus. And we can't unring that bell about those hotels. We're stuck with what we got down there on the bayfront.
Well, you're definitely right about one thing for sure. The one thing that we have plentiful is the water.
Yep.
And I look at the internet and I see these places that they have no water.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, well, what businesses do they have there that we can entice them to come here?
Oh, yeah.
And if we, instead of giving them free tax breaks, free this, free that, water.
Give them give them a big break or free water.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'd rather.
I'm on board with you.
Yeah, I'd rather give them free water than free taxes.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, forget LERTA.
Yeah.
Give them water, Kaz.
Yeah.
But first we'd have to take the fluoride out of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That arsenic that we put in it.
Hey, thanks for calling, Rich. We got the high sign here.
Yeah, we're all going off the air sign, but thanks for calling. Kaz, I want to thank you.
Mr. Steiner, John Steiner, pleasure to have you here.
It's always fun. I'll talk to you soon.
And maybe we'll see you next week?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
It's nice out, though, so it's good to get out in the sun, come down and talk to everybody. Thanks for watching. Where's that great song?
It was nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.